Spin Master, the Canadian toy giant, withdrawing its forecasts. Hardly surprisingly, a good chunk of its business is exposed to potentially damaging tariffs, particularly on goods from China. Let's get more from Kylie Cohu, Vice President of Consumer Equity Research at Jefferies. Kylie, thanks very much for joining us.
And thank you for having me on, Andrew.
You note that they're not just toys. They're not just plastic physical goods. They're so big in digital and entertainment, and that is essentially shielded from tariffs.
Yes, you bring up a good point. So where most toy pure plays only manufacture toys, and a lot of those are imported into the US and Canada from China, they actually do have this entertainment as well as digital gaming segments that basically have no tariff exposure.
About 30%, I think, of their product base or their cost of goods sold exposed to big tariffs, and they could be up to 145%, though, I believe.
Exactly. Yeah. We've estimated that roughly 30% of the COGS could be exposed to that 145% tariffs from China specifically. And then the rest of the supply chain, really, a lot of it could be exposed to that incremental 10% as well. Something to keep in mind, though, is that, while these are clearly material numbers, it really is the U.S. exposure that we focus on. So that's only about 50% of the toy business itself.
Right. Sorry, just give us that last thing again. But 50% of their sales will be outside the United States.
Exactly. Okay. Right. So while, again, still extremely material, they don't solely sell in the U.S.
The stock is down over the past year. Why is that?
So Spin Master's down for several reasons. One of them was kind of consistently missing on EBITDA. What I will say is in the quarter, they actually posted their first EBITDA beat, the first time in like the last four quarters. So that was overall encouraging. But what's really driving the stock down today, in our view, is this uncertainty around tariffs and really how the consumers are going to respond to it. And the big kind of question mark here is, how is that tug of war balancing act between eating the tariff cost and then passing along to the customers? How does that all play out? And then how does that ultimately end up impacting consumer demand? So lots of moving pieces here, but that's really what's driving the stock lower today.
They bought about 1.2 million shares in Q1. Is their balance sheet decent? Are there any concerns about their debt load?
No, good news with Spin Master is it's a very clean balance sheet, and they have lots of sources of liquidity available to them. So not really, a question of, liquidity. We really like them in that regard. So no issues there.
I think maybe I'm out of date, but I think of Spin Master and other toy companies as almost like showbiz, in the sense that if they have a hot toy, that gets investors flocking in.
No, that is a good way of thinking about it. A hot toy, a new, Tickle Me Elmo from back in the day. Right. I mean, it gets everyone's attention, right? It becomes buzzy, it's on social media, and all of a sudden it becomes top of mind for the consumer everywhere. What's been kind of difficult is just the consumer uncertainty around all of this. So what we're going to be particularly watching ahead is, how these new releases and how new movies specifically resonate, because Spin Master does have quite a few licenses for the upcoming movies this year. The big ones you can think about include Superman, that one's coming out this summer, as well as Gabby's Dollhouse and a little bit of Jurassic World as well.
Thanks. Sorry, I was just going to ask you what movies. So Superman.
Sorry, didn't mean to beat you to the punch.
Thank you. Yeah. Superman. I gather there's been all kinds of legal battles over the intellectual property of Superman, but they've resolved it now. One thing I wanted to ask you, they did that huge acquisition of that company, Melissa and Doug, and they were kind of traditional toys in many cases, I think jigsaws and puzzles. They spent a lot, though, about $1 billion. And I think initially there was disappointment, or marginal disappointment, with the results from Melissa and Doug.
Yeah, when the company first acquired Melissa and Doug, I think the fourth quarter and then the present quarters, kind of in Q1 and Q2, it really wasn't firing on all cylinders because, in between the management teams, there was really kind of a pullback in marketing, and that really impacted the business as soon as Spin Master was able to, fully own it. So what we have seen recently, though, is we've seen nice growth in that area, and we continue to expect to see this grow. So it might sound odd, but what Melissa and Doug does really well is kind of get back to the essentials of pretend play, which is resonating really well with particularly preschool moms and moms that are really trying to build the imagination of their kids.
Right, not something that's tied to a movie or something like that. Yeah, just like plain blocks or something like that. Yeah, and I forgot something. They got the brand of Rubik's Cube quite a few years ago. I've never managed to solve the cube. Have you?
I'll say I have not, but shout out to my brother. He is very proficient, and he could beat just about anyone that I've seen. So that's something to aspire to.
Thank you. And just finally, so your formal rating on Spin Master, or you're telling investors buy. At what price would you tend to go cool on the stock? Where would you say it would be fully valued?
Yeah, so we still see about 30% upside to the stock from where it is, and we are at the lower end of currently where our estimates are of the street expectations. But we do really like what Spin Master is doing with Melissa and Doug specifically, and their movie pipeline for the year. It really is just this tariff overhang uncertainty that is really out of their control that is pressuring the stock. If there were to be resolution, we see major upside to numbers.
And they are interesting. They have the Spin Master Ventures. They buy into startups, and they have 30 offices in 20 countries. So I'm sure they get a lot of pitches, and they see a lot of interesting toy ideas.
Exactly. And I think that's something that they do really well is also, doing those little tuck-in acquisitions that have the latest innovation. And then they will also move into something bigger, like, say, the Melissa and Doug space. So they really play across the board. And I think something that maybe the street sometimes underappreciates is how well they work with inventors to really get the latest innovation onto shelves.
Kylie, thank you very much. Our guest has been Kylie Cohu, Vice President of Consumer Equity Research at Jefferies. Still ahead, the head of the Canadian